to order. We're having a real problem keeping enough people because all the different committees meeting here on our committee day. Senator Jackson had just presented a bill in Judiciary, and Senator Gooch is about to present over there. What I wanted to do is, if you saw our schedule today, we have a series of bills, and I wanted to take any testimony from anybody else. A number of interested parties and prosecutors have met with me during the day today with some suggested changes. I wanted to hear testimony from anybody else that wants to be heard on these bills, and then we may make some tweaks, and we'll be meeting again tomorrow morning at 10, where we'll be taking a vote on them. I'll start with Senate Bill 604. Yes. Yes, you're recognized.
Number 9.
Number 9?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a point of order. Does this committee have the authority to move on legislation? I went back and reviewed our kind of organizing resolution, and it talks about us being able to issue a report, but I don't see anything that allows us to take action on actual legislation.
Doesn't say we can't. This was according to, I believe, the Secretary of Senate and the Committee on Assignments, that we do have that authority. They took that into account when deciding to refer those to this committee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I guess before we take any testimony, we have in our file minutes that we've been having difficulty getting quorums, and everybody just take a few minutes and review the series of minutes from our last meetings, going back to December 17th. While we're doing that, does anybody want to be heard on Senate Bill 604? That's the one on concurrent jurisdiction. Okay. And 605 dealt with the different grounds for discipline. I've had D.A. Cranford meeting with me today, and with the Legislative Council going to make a couple of tweaks at your request on that that we'll build in tomorrow. And then on the district attorney pay bill, reform bill, anybody needed to be heard on that or wanted to be heard on that? Okay. And the final one's on the statewide grand juries. There's both the Senate resolution and the underlying bill there. Okay. We had a pretty thorough hearing on, I guess that was on Friday, and we've heard from a lot of the prosecuting attorneys and solicitors on those, and they've given us ideas. In fact, they're still continuing to come in on emails. I noticed I had a couple of new ones. I'm going to review those tonight, give a legislative council first thing in the morning, and see if there's any way to accommodate the concerns of the prosecutors, and we'll have something to vote on. All right. Now that you've looked at the minutes, is there a motion to approve the minutes from December 17th? Got a motion from Vice Chairman Dolezal. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Senator Jackson. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? All right, same thing on the minutes from January 27th.
So moved.
Got a same motion
I'll second.
and same second. All in favor? Y'all feel free to tell me if you see anything we got wrong there. And the minutes from February 13th, 2026.
So moved.
Okay. Motion to
Second.
approve and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. And the minutes from February 20th of 26.
So moved.
All right, same motion from Senator Dolezal.
Second.
Same second from Senator Jackson. Boy, y'all are working in such a great bipartisan manner. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, unanimous once again. And finally, the minutes from last Friday's meeting, February 27th.
Motion approved.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion on any of these? I feel like we're running through, but really they're just reciting that we had testimony. All right, all in favor, raise your hand. All right. I think we will go ahead then and adjourn until tomorrow morning. Mr. Morelli, can you stay with me to let me walk through some of these proposed changes so we can have final versions of the bills ready to vote on in the morning?
You took testimony,
Nobody
nobody wanted.
wanted to, yeah. Am I missing anybody want to testify?
I want to talk about, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
Dr. Mosley, DA, Clayton, I think it was 605, the PAQC.
Yeah, great. Come on up to the podium.
just,
Now, you said you wanted to talk about the.
I think it was 605, the PAQC,
That's it? Sure.
When I looked at it, and I mean, my name's Tasha Mosley, I'm District Attorney of the Clayton Judicial Circuit.
Thank
Good
you.
afternoon, it's been a long day, my brain is a little tired.
Tell
But
us about it.
I'm a little opposed, I'm a lot opposed to it. And this is what I am not understanding is the word strictly. What does that mean?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because when we were in opposition to it about a year, 2 years ago, you know, we were told, and I remember that, you know, basically this was it, no changes were going to happen. The director issues a report earlier this year or late last year saying that no changes needed to be made, all of this was good, you know, how many cases they've looked at and where they haven't found, you know, that everything was rolling good. And then all of a sudden to see this new legislation, proposed legislation, talking about strictly, I'm like, well, what does that mean? If the mail is not delivered to a victim and they don't get the package that we send out with the Victim Bill of Rights, am I going to be held accountable for United States Postal Service, which loses a lot of stuff? If a victim sits there and says, you know what, they haven't talked to me in a year, and the reason why I bring this up, because I have a mother that is a victim, her child was killed. I have met with that woman no less, me personally, in person, no less than 5 times. Zoom and telephone calls, grand total probably 8. My victim services said 9, but I remember 8 times. I probably blacked out 1. I know she's filed a PAQC against me because she said so. We gave her at the very first meeting, we gave her her Bill of Rights, everything, and even gave her a package of vendors that could help. They're countywide. She sends me an email 2 weeks ago. Well, you never gave me my Bill of Rights stuff. And I'm looking at the notes and I'm like, yes, we did, first meeting. So I said, okay, cool. Let me electronically send it to you in an email. And so this is somebody I know that is filed because she told me. And I'm sitting here going, what more? If the executive director of the PAQC said in his report in late December, early January, that everything is good, I'm not understanding why this strictly. Is it because he has nothing to do? That nobody has been caught? Because we're doing our best. Gentlemen, if you're going to talk about this stuff needs to be received.
Let me help get your blood pressure down just a little bit.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Your head of your organization.
Yes, sir.
Has talked to us, and Pete Scandalakis has talked to us. And we are working off a committee substitute that has already made changes to accommodate your concerns.
Cool.
So the version, and this shows the value of public testimony on these type of bills to make sure we hear all viewpoints, because we're trying to give some certainty to prosecuting attorneys as to what's expected of them.
Yes, sir.
And some bright line rules without being, just too sort of unreasonable. So what we did was we changed the original version that I think you must have been looking at.
I have.
Instead of saying failure to strictly comply with the Crime Victims' Bill of Rights and the same language on the public records, responses to open records request, we said failure to make reasonable efforts to
Gotcha.
strictly comply. And that was directly in response to concerns of you and other prosecutors that, sometimes you're overwhelmed with the volume of cases and can't keep on top. Sometimes the victims fail to notify you of any change of address so
Right.
that you can't find them, in a timely manner. And there could be other technical reasons that you, even though you're making your best efforts to protect those victims' rights, you're unable to do so in a
Right.
particular circumstance. So we have made that change.
Good.
So you're not the only person that had those concerns. The other ones expressed them to us sooner. And when we met on Friday, we had already made these changes. So we're working off a committee substitute that makes those changes. And I'll tell you, I also had a very productive meeting with a number of DAs today about, on line 29, the failure to exercise impartiality in prosecutions. We understand that that's really already in your oath of office
Correct.
to a degree. And some people were complaining this might be a little too ambiguous to us. And I'm like, well, then your oath of office must be ambiguous too. Yes, you know, that was hard, but I realized there is a more specific rule that the commission has enacted on those duties. It's a subsection I remember, and I'm looking to have Mr. Morelli just implement that under subsection 9 here to more precisely specify what we mean by failing to exercise impartiality in your prosecutions. And I think you will be fine with that because it's the rule you're already living under.
Right.
But it's just not in the code, and it needs to be. So the commission can know what they're doing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Just one quick question, because, and this goes, I am, like I said, Clayton, and I've got a fair number of victim advocates, and I'm able, on good days, able to make sure everything is done. But I know, I think it's been about 2-3 years ago where you guys, you appropriated funds for one victim advocate per judicial circuit, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
I think it was
Yes.
about 2-3 years ago, and I just wonder if there will be any consideration to my brothers and sisters that are in the smaller judicial circuits where that one victim advocate that you funded was it. Am I wrong? That it's a lot of them that they don't have county-funded victim advocates, and they might need more victim advocates in those particular judicial circuits because of the volume of cases that they have been getting, and they only have that one advocate. I know for me, you know, I've got a number of them and I'm cool, but I just know that a lot of them with one, they talk about trying to get that done, you know, victim advocates making that contact and still making sure everything is going smoothly, and it's kind of hard for them. So it might not benefit me in a larger, medium-sized judicial circuit, but I think you might want to look at, for the smaller judicial circuits, appropriating victim advocates for them, because I hear them when they talk about how they're drowning, just trying to make sure nothing falls through the cracks, and they only have that one victim advocate. So
That is interesting to hear. We kind of thought the opposite. We thought that the larger populations counties would have more criminal cases, therefore more victims, and a need for more advocates.
Oh, listen, I'll take
And the question
them.
is, should we shift that burden to the counties, or the counties making up any judicial circuit to supplement, or should the state do so? We had a conversation on Friday, and it was in conjunction with the district attorney pay raise bill.
Right.
And I had a couple of questions. One is, do we need to put in code and increase salary for your assistant DAs? That right now there is a salary schedule recommended or set forth by PAC that's sort of a step increase, and did we need to codify that, which we may try to do to some extent? And we talked about, are there enough assistant DAs per circuit? Because right now, as I remember the formula, there's a chief assistant for each DA. There's one per Superior Court judge. There is this, I guess it's accountability court person, a juvenile court person, and then there's some grant-funded ones for domestic violence or whatever in the appropriate cases. And is that enough? Or
No.
do we need, and what formula would you propose if we were, do you need 2 assistant DAs per judge? Do you
Honestly,
need,
sir?
do you need 3? Do you need 1.5? If you have ideas, you got tonight to sleep on it and let me know. And if you'll come up here afterwards, we'll give you my cell phone and my administrative assistant's email, so you could fire away anything. It's hard to pivot too hard when this was
Right.
intended just for DAs, but I'm, as an attorney, recognize it takes a organization to prosecute cases, not just one person.
Will the amended bill come out to
It'll
the
be in the
amendments?
morning.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please come back, 10 a.m. in this room.
See, I'm supposed to be in court, but I will do my best. But just real quick, if you ask for me for a figure like what I've got right now, I've got 3 ADAs in each courtroom. I would need a 4th just to handle the caseload that we have right now, so that they are not what I call triaging cases,
Yeah.
because you can only handle what's in front of you, and you try to keep it, like we just the month of February, we tried 4 murders, and I've got 4 murders going out in 2 weeks in 4 of my
Yeah,
5 courtrooms.
I've got a case that's, you're not personally handling it because it's more small time than a murder, but I was sort of happy to see those murders being tried because I didn't want to have to be juggling my legislative leave with prosecution of a more lesser offense. I assume you might help educate my committee. Of those 3 per judge, 1 is paid for by the state of Georgia,
Yes, sir.
and the other 2 are through county supplements?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, county salaries.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
counties, okay. So those are paid for by Clayton County.
Yes, sir. Out of my 104 employees, and I was trying to calculate it, I think I've got 11, somewhere between 11 and 15 state employees. Everybody else is county paid.
And what's your total number?
104.
Okay, how many of those are attorneys?
27.
Okay,
So out of that 27, I think 11, because I've got an investigator, 2 legal assistants, and then that victim advocate. So I would say 15 state-paid employees total. If my numbers are correct, I was trying to make sure with my office manager, but those are the ones that I right off the bat I could think of that are. So everybody else is county paid. So that 80-something, 90-something
so
county
all
paid.
of 70-something of those that are administrative, are they victim advocates? Are they paralegals? Are they investigators, secretaries? What are they?
Okay,
What's the variety?
so yes,
Okay.
to all of that.
Yes, you
I've got about 26, 27 investigators, and they're divided up. You've got your major crimes, murders and stuff like that,
Yeah.
rapes, and then those other guys. The volume of the non-violent is so large that I have to have 2 investigators, and they just split the alphabet up,
Okay.
like A through L, M through Z, to handle those cases, making sure they've got everything. And then there is a victim advocate that only handles, a couple of victim advocates that only handles those murders, those rapes, because they've been trained how to be empathetic.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then you've got the other victim advocates that might deal with the shopliftings, the burglaries, and
Sure.
stuff like that. And then, of course, the legal assistants making sure that we've got everything that we need, that everything is getting out, that file is together. I even put somebody in first appearance because paperwork was being misplaced, and I needed to make sure that I am getting those murders, those rapes, those 7 deadlies quickly before, oftentimes bypassing magistrate court because defense counsels have figured out how to work it. They just keep continuing their first appearance. I mean, not the first appearance, but their prelims. Keep continuing till after that 90 days is run, and then they're like, well, I'm entitled to a bond, and you're just like, where was this case?
Right.
You
Then they
know what I
got
mean?
demand for a speedy trial, next thing you know, and here you go.
Right. So
Let me ask you this while I got you then. I'm really glad you came. How many citizens in Clayton County?
300 and I think we're about 350, give or take. My math, but I know it's over 300,000.
All right, and what is your office's total budget?
From the county, I think we are about $5 or $6 million.
Okay, and so you're the 17, yourself and 17 of your assistant DAs are paid through PAC,
Yes,
and then there will be some supplement on their pay as well?
yes.
What is your county supplement?
My county supplement is $45,500 and some change, like
Okay.
$55 or something like
Does
that.
Clayton County give a supplement for your assistant DAs as well, or not?
Yes.
Okay, how much do they get supplemented?
And I'm gonna break it down because
Okay.
of course, my chief assistant gets a state supplement.
Yeah.
Then I give, and when I say I mean through my asset forfeiture account.
You use
I
that
give-
to supplement salary?
Yes, sir. Because honestly, the pay is so low in what they do. I'm trying to get it up to a certain point. So I think the largest supplement I probably give out is somewhere about 20,000, 25, because
Okay.
the person is so low on the state paid because they under 10 years, that I want to say their state pay is somewhere around $70-something thousand. So
I
to
think
get
it starts at 72, or might be 74, my math isn't
Right,
right. And it
right, I think
goes
you're
on
right.
up to 134 is what they testified recently.
But at 10 years is the magic number. At
Okay.
10 year, they get, I think they're probably at 100,000 or something
Right.
like that. But anybody below that, and I do have some deputy chiefs below that don't have the 10 years, so I'm having to pay them like 25,000 to try to get them in the range with the DCs that have 10 plus years of experience and have gotten
Right.
that state bump. So you have them, they are the only people that are receiving supplements through asset forfeiture, and then the county gives, I think there are 4 or 5 supplements that the county gives, and they're ranging anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. That's it.
All right. That gives us a feel for where we are salary-wise and what the need is. Are you having difficulty hiring new attorneys?
Yes, sir.
And is that because they can make more in the private sector, or just we don't have enough lawyers coming out? I can't get them either, by the way,
It's-
in my firm.
No, it's they can make more in the private sector.
Okay.
When you can go and make 110, 120, literally coming out of law school, and you know nothing, you're still wet behind the ears. And I'm sitting there saying 72 on the state level, and I think my county pays 84,000.
Right.
These kids are looking at me and saying, well, I want 110, 115. And I was like, yeah, I wanted that too when I first came out. But that's the reality is where we're at.
In Athens, we don't have to pay the Atlanta market prices.
Right.
But my firm starts people at 85 or 90 fresh out of law school, civil firm.
Right.
And we steal them from y'all. So they take a $10,000 raise to leave the DA's office. Sorry, Kalki. I hadn't done it since you've been here, but your predecessor.
Yeah.
And because they can make more, I mean, it's not dramatically like it might be in Atlanta. So while I got you, I'm
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
segueing
Listen,
into
listen.
a couple other. Let's go
Yeah.
back to the prosecutorial oversight.
Yes, sir.
One of the other things, I think I might have appeased you on the strict
Yes, sir.
compliance. In addition to that, we talked about complying with discovery statute. Many of the DAs that have talked to us have said they have an open file policy. Our Western Circuit DA is here, so I know that's their policy. Do you have
Same
any
here.
problem with complying with that code section? I mean, that's what the
is.
citizens are most worried about if you conceal or hide or don't turn over exculpatory evidence,
Sir, when I tell you we turn it over, so that's why that bill was just a little crazy. I mean, sometimes with the police department, it's not unusual, and you've probably experienced this, where a police officer will put the wrong number
Yeah.
for video, and you're going off that number, and you're searching, your investigators are searching, and they can't find the video. And then when you're sitting down with them, getting ready for trial, then all of a sudden they pop up with the video, and you're just like, where has the video been? Oh, I misnumbered it. And it's not that we're trying to hide anything.
Okay.
It's a lot of times that they have misnumbered stuff. God help us on the ones that have left the agency,
Yeah.
and they haven't completely put everything down. They'll just say body cam.
So you agree that failure to make reasonable efforts to comply with that discovery statute would be grounds for some type of sanction? I mean, that's
Reasonable.
kind of the core of your job, right?
Right.
Okay.
We go and we try to do everything. We send emails. I mean, if an agency doesn't give me what I want, then I've got to let the case go, because I have nothing to turn over. And I can't tell you the number of times that we have sent multiple emails. It goes to the chief of police, it goes to the sheriff, and it's like, listen, this person has been picked up, this person's in jail, and I'm waiting on something. And, justice says if I have nothing before me, I can't give anything, I can't prosecute this case, so I'm letting this case go.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody on our side is trying to hide anything, but a lot of times stuff pops up, and we're just as upset as you are, because a lot of times if they give it to us at the last minute, and we've been asking, you've got to tell a victim, guess what? They're entitled to a continuance, because we just got this video or this report, whatever it may be, we just got it, and we're not as happy at all about it. So I don't think anybody is intentionally trying to hide anything.
I don't either, and I don't think y'all ought to have any fear for that being included in the grounds for discipline, failing to do those things, or at least making your good faith effort attempt to comply with what it are Georgia laws.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page there. All right, I'm gonna shift gears one last time. Boy,
Okay.
You might regret showing up.
No,
today.
I'm
We're gonna
never
make it
regret
worth
coming
your
down
drive
here.
while I got you, but on the concurrent jurisdiction, the way this bill is designed is that the Attorney General's office wants to be a resource for you.
Okay.
You just described a tremendous manpower shortage and budgetary constraints. And when you especially mention the 7 deadlies, that's kind of the more serious felonies is what this is looking at, and the drug trafficking and criminal illegal aliens that you've got more rights and you've got to deal with. Would you be comfortable if you were allowed to ask the Attorney General to provide assistance if they had additional manpower that perhaps I'm envisioning could roam around the state, could go plug the dike where needed, not taking cases away from you, but responding to you upon request? Is that a problem of
Well,
any
they kind of
sort with that?
already do that now. I've got
Right.
several cases where the AG's office, where I've worked hand in hand with the AG's office on cases. When they call, it's like they're interested in that case, and I have that conversation. I'm like, cool, come on
Yeah,
down.
okay.
It's usually dealing with sex trafficking, and when they
Yeah,
come,
that's a specific, that's
yeah,
already authorized.
yeah, and I.
And gangs. we
Yeah,
see
in
that.
gangs, they've come down, and trust me, they have their own office. We make sure on the 3rd floor, they come in, they get the same swipe cards,
Good.
everything, because they are, at that particular point in time, as far as I'm concerned, they are the Clayton Judicial Circuit. So you're going to have every resource that you need available to you to try these cases. So.
The other area that got a little pushback is in my bill as initially drafted. It said that if the Attorney General were to essentially instruct you or ask you if you were going to prosecute a certain case, and you either failed to or unable to or refused to do so within 90 days, then they could come in and assert concurrent jurisdiction. I think I have been talked out of that by the
Right.
DA's Association to change it to where if you are recused from a case or disqualified or removed from a case, that the Attorney General will simply have the first option to
Yes.
step in, and if they were not manned up or willing to do it, they would turn it back over to the current process where PAC
Right.
goes and tracks one down or finds one, just like a conflict case now.
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable to you?
That sounds reasonable.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable.
All right. Are there any other specific types of prosecutorial misconduct you think we ought to specify in here? And this is coming partly from the fact that Fonnie Willis was removed from a case for the appearance of impropriety. And I think one of her complaints is, tell me the rule. Give me the bright line rule that I violated rather than something vaguer. So I'm trying to articulate more of them than we currently do. I know this might not
It's-
be exhausted, but you might have suggestions as to other ways to define misconduct to give you assurance where the line is, or give the public assurance that you guys are doing an honest, strong, ethical
Right.
job like you are trying to do.
It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard because I understand what happened in the past. But the 50 other DAs that I work with, everybody is, in my opinion, doing what they're doing. I don't think anybody's, doing any misconduct. We know if we've seen prosecutors removed for sexual harassment within their office. I don't think any of the 50 are doing that. We've seen DAs that have substance abuse problems and attempted to bribe, and those were new people that came in. None of my colleagues have that. So I think trying to regulate for these abnormalities that you get this one-off that might come in and really not understand what we're about, I think that's hard. Because these men and women are doing everything that we're supposed to do, and I just can't right off the top of my head think of some other misconduct that needs to be regulated, because the way that makes it feel to me is that you're thinking that we are going to be mischievous in what we're doing, that somebody's coming in with that that notion, that already made up their mind that they're going to take full advantage of their office and abuse it. And I don't think that my colleagues are like that. I think there are probably times people do make mistakes. Whatever happens in their life,
Yeah.
SGs have made mistakes, but I inherently just don't think that
Okay.
anybody's of criminal mind.
What kind of forfeiture funds do you come up with a year? You mentioned using forfeit. What type of volume are we talking about, dollar figure?
Not a whole lot, because before I came in, they were just doing forfeitures. When I came in, a forfeiture has to be tied to a criminal case.
Right.
So if I don't have a criminal case, I don't have a forfeiture. So I had to change the mindset of my police department and also my sheriff's department. So now, if a criminal case, and then we go, so they're running neck and neck, the criminal case and the asset forfeiture. And what usually happens is the criminal will plea and we forfeit their assets at that point in time. So it's not a whole lot. I mean, I'm doing
Are you talking
good.
about a few million, a few thousand?
A
What's
few,
Clayton
I
County
think, you have to understand, there was a big bank before I got in, okay? So probably since I've been in, I probably average about 150,000 a year, give or take. Some, probably last year, not even that much.
Keep that in a separate account.
Keep it in, yes, sir. It's kept in a
Anybody
separate
else have
account.
access to that other than you? Or
No.
according to your budget? Okay.
No,
And what
'cause you
all-
have to.
What purposes do you use it for? You said pay supplements.
Pay supplements, training. We buy vests for my investigators. We had old cars, old Crown Vics. I got them cars. That's basically about it. I mean, any training that we have to do, and I'm trying to think. I think we took care of the police dog. We had a police dog. He's since died, so his vet bills came out of that. But I'm trying to remember if that was out of
When you
federal
say
or
there
the
was a
state.
big bank, there was money that had been accumulated? and
Before,
that's-
right,
okay.
right, before I got there. So, yeah, we're not, like I said, did I upset some law enforcement when I made that rule when I came in? Because I'm not going to say it was the first day, because I needed to understand what was going on with the process. But then we had COVID hit. And so that gave me more time to even refine it. But my process is there has to be a criminal case, and I mean a legit criminal case. Don't tell me somebody has a joint and you're trying to forfeit $60,000 or the car that's in there. I'm talking about somebody is trafficking and you've got 60,000. Then we're talking at that particular point in time, because that was little itty bitty stuff that I saw with the gambling machines. You know, they were trying to touch people's personal accounts. And I'm just like, whoa, what does that have to do with this? No. So I think the civil attorneys that deal with it know what I'm about. And so they know this is not a money grab. There's a criminal case, and they know. And so when they know that there's a criminal case, that I'm bringing forth a criminal case, they're more prone to plea out. And we work out what we can truly track to the criminal enterprise.
Have you ever used a special grand jury in your office?
Not yet.
Okay.
I have a sneaking suspicion I probably will, but not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you hire outside special prosecutors or just use your own staff attorneys?
I use my own staff attorneys.
Hadn't you had to use a special prosecutor yet?
No, I mean, I'm assuming when you say special prosecutor, somebody I would hire out. I've
Correct.
recused myself from cases, and like I said, the AG's office has come in, but I have not had that need as of yet. It might never, I don't know, but as of yet, I haven't.
Other committee members have questions. This is not sworn testimony, it's public comment, so any of you are free to ask the question if you have one. Any of these bills before us? You have been quite the resource. I thank you for
Thank
your
you.
coming and sharing your thoughts with us. I hope you feel better about these bills now than
little
you
bit
did when you
better.
walked in.
A little bit better. I still don't like the DA pay bill, but
Well, and why not? You don't like a pay raise?
no. Listen, I've never been about money. I don't do this job for money, because Lord knows, you're never going to get rich on this. But I think I've expressed this last week to everybody.
No, that's a house.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is the senior chamber.
I get y'all confused.
It's the upper chamber over here. Tell us, we'll
But-
be more wise and thoughtful and deliberative than the
Basically,
children over there are. Tell
yeah,
us.
We've got 82 ADAs that make more than us, and they deserve it. They need, honestly, the ADAs need more money because they do a bulk of the work. I carry a caseload, but it's minuscule compared to my guys. So yeah, they need that. I prefer for them to get something. If you're going to bump me up, that's fine. But the locality pay, that's where my problem is.
Okay.
And like I told you, I get paid 45.5, I think, or either
So the
45.
state pay is what, 140 something?
No, I think it's 134,
All right,
132.
we're about to adjourn.
132. Locality pay, I think if your
Go
county
ahead.
is willing to pay you for the work that you do, then let the county pay you for the work that you do. Because there are things that I do that my cohorts don't. Like I have a child support division that y'all put a whole lot of rules.
All right,
that-
So let me stop you, because I'm working through some changes on this
Yes, sir.
tonight. But if it's let's just call it 135,
Yes, sir.
and you're getting 45 on top of that,
Yes.
180, 190?
Listen.
Do my math for me,
To-
please don't expose my.
That if you give me
Right, so you're making
135, so
180.
I'd
Right.
make a 180.
So if you're making 180 now and the new bill pays you 195, you don't like that?
No, because you're getting rid of my local. This is, yeah, I'm gonna
You're
tell you.
still making more money, it's just coming
Still-
from the state instead of Clayton County.
But why can't my county pay me for all of the extra that I'm doing, i.e. child support? You're treating us all the same on that particular point, that on the pay, and all of us don't have the same caseload. I mean, I think I used watermelons, honeydew, and apricots, and it's no disrespect to my smaller brothers and sisters, but some have 16, some have 40. I've got 104. I've got the ones above me that have 300+ people
Yeah.
in their office. And so there are differences, and that difference is based upon the caseload. One of my colleagues said he tried 4 murders in 1 year. I laughed. I would have been like, gosh darn, I would have loved. I tried.
Vacation for you.
Right.
Okay.
But several times that year, I had 4 courtrooms going that were trying murder. So in the average year, I'm probably trying 40. And to say that I need to make the same as my other colleagues, and
Do you think a
Everybody-
DA should be able to make more than a Superior Court judge?
no. Now, honestly, you want me to be honest? I'll be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, because
Yeah,
we do
I didn't
more.
swear you in, but I would hope you'd be
I'm
honest.
and it's no disrespect to my judges, but
Yeah.
we do more. I mean, a lot of people go to be a judge to basically chill out and retire. It's less stressful. Because when you have the number of people that you have to be responsible for and make sure that you've got them trained and that they're following the bar rules, every rule, because it's ultimately going to come back to you, and then you still have the citizens. See, the judges are protected. I can't talk to you. You know, and they're on a back hall, so nobody's going to ever get to them. And if the people call, the secretary, the first thing the secretary says, I can't talk to you. The judge can't talk to
You
you.
do agree that traditionally, in most every circuit in Georgia, the DA's pay has been somewhere 85 to 95% of a Superior Court judges? I mean, it's
Oh,
all-
yeah, yeah.
okay. It's kind of almost a little tradition, so to speak, that they're not greatly underpaid so that they'll have equal status as the judge they're appearing in front of, but they're not generally paid more than the judge.
I understand
Okay.
that,
I just wanna
but
make
this,
sure.
no. This is Tasha's opinion, but I understand that you've got the Supreme Court, you've got the Court of Appeals, you've got the Superior Court, and then you have us. But understand also that who you don't control is the SGs, and I ain't mad at them. You've got some SGs that will make more than the DA, the elected DA in their county, because their supplements, their locality pay, whatever you want to call it, is going to take them over the top. You're going to have some making $200,000, so they're going to be making more than Superior Court judges because they've got local legislation coming through. There is no. What is the incentive of going from SG to DA when you're going to take a pay cut?
True.
Because your locality pay. And I said this last week. The person. I was SG. I was elected SG in 08, took office in 09. In 2019,
And SG, for those wondering, Solicitor General. Yeah, okay.
Solicitor General. And so in 2019, Governor Kemp appointed me because I was the most qualified, because I knew how to run an office.
Okay.
I knew about prosecution. So that was a little pay jump.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if you don't allow that locality pay or cut it, then what you run the risk of is what happened in jurisdictions that we know gave us headaches for 4 years. Because what SG is going to want to come up and take that pay cut? And I'm not saying that locality pay needs to be like something ridiculous, but what I am saying, one of my colleagues proposed
Maybe some limitations
a
on the
scale.
locality pay?
Yeah, a scale. Because I'm not sitting here saying, give me $100,000. because Clayton County's not going to pay me $100,000. But based upon my size, the size of the office, maybe my locality pay
Okay.
is 20 or 25%. And do like a graduated scale. That's all I'm saying on locality pay.
All right. I got one question for you, then we're going to adjourn because I've had members, you
I
see them
understand.
peeling off. They're all got speaking engagements tonight, and we're supposed to stop by 6. But
Yes, sir.
Senator Hatchett's going to ask you a question, then I want you to stick around for a minute and come up here. I want to swap information with you to make
Yes, sir.
sure that I can get specific input from you before we vote tomorrow. Senator Hatchett, you're recognized for a question there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier, you said you would be opposed to a statewide pay increase for DAs. My question would be, I know you're fortunate to be in your county where they have the funds to pay a supplement. Most, I would say a majority of the rural counties, if they do pay a supplement, it's not substantial. So
Right.
for those counties which don't have the funds to pay a supplement, they also don't have the funds to pay ADAs, county-paid ADAs. I have several counties that don't have county-paid ADAs at all.
Right.
So when you talk about caseload, the number of DAs is arguably tied to the number of Superior Court judges, which is tied to the caseload in the circuit. Some argument would be, at least for the state-paid funded positions, the caseload should be fairly similar. With that in mind, and with the rural
Excuse me.
circuits in mind, would you still be opposed to a statewide pay raise for those DAs?
I think everybody needs a pay raise because this is the deal. You've got 82 ADAs that make more than the elected. Like, I've got 2 in my office. So you've got to give us a bump. What I'm saying is don't touch the locality. If you want to do something with the locality pay to ensure that we don't make more than the Superior Court judges, do it at a percentage, at a graduated percentage based upon office size, whatever it may be, because one, the cost of living here in Metro and our surrounding counties is much higher than in other smaller jurisdictions. So for every judge that you add into a jurisdiction, you don't add a DA, you add an ADA, one ADA. And then the county picks up, if they're fortunate enough, picks up the rest of it, adding whatever staff they need. What I'm trying to say is, that's still 100% of the cases on the DA. But the judges, their percentage of cases goes down. Like percentage right now, my judge, I have 5 judges, and we're trying to get a 6th one. That means each judge right now has 20% of the criminal cases. I have 100% of it. And the same with my brothers that might have just 2 judges. The judges got 50%. They've got 100%. But this bill is treating us all the same. And what I'm saying is, yes, in the fact that our title and what we do as far as prosecution is the same, but the difference comes in our caseload. What we are trying. Some DAs have to try misdemeanors. A good portion of their cases, because they don't have a solicitor general in their county, so a good portion of their caseload is misdemeanors. Well, I'm telling you right now, when I tried misdemeanors, I could probably try 20 speeding tickets like that, because it was just, the only thing that changes is the speed and where they go. But these cases are more intensive, and we have more of them, on when you're dealing with here in the metro. So all I'm saying is, give everybody a raise to make sure that we're above our ADAs. With locality pay, I understand there's got to be some type of adjustment. But what I'm suggesting is a graduated. Metro, if you're a large office, if you're considered a large office, it can't be more than 25% of the base. Mid-size, 20. Small, you see what I'm saying? Something where everybody gets a bump. And if a county is able to pay it, they pay it. But it still keeps, it still keeps the differences so that Metro Atlanta can pay their people for what they're worth and what we do. Because when my colleague said 4 murders a year, I was like, good God, let me go down there. You go take over for me for about 2 months, because, you know, we're about to have, I see these big cases, and we have more complex. Because I tried a gang case that took us the better part, the last defendant we finally got, and it was the teacher. It was the most depressing thing, but it was 20 defendants that all severed. And you're dealing with that and trying to keep everything together over the years and fly people in, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And I know my colleagues do have some gang cases, but I don't think as many that we have on a regular basis. They might have 1 or 2 a year or something like that, and usually, you know, biker gangs and stuff like that. But when you got them coming every time you open up a file, and you're telling me that we are the same, on that instance, we're not. Our caseloads are different, and I think our locality pay should be allowed to do that. Give us all the same base pay. But if a county is able to pay you a locality pay, whatever they want to pay you, allow that. Because I think what you're setting up for the future is somebody not wanting to be DA, especially if they can stay SG and make more money. And so I'm asking, if you want to cap, but bring the percentage up to ensure that we're not making more than a Superior Court judge, definitely not more than the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeals. 20 or 25%, 20, 15. I don't think anybody would have a problem with those percentages, because that's something that we proposed earlier on, and it got knocked down. Doing a level. I think it came from D.A. Racine out in Douglas County, a level, and I can't remember the numbers, but I'm saying 25, 20, and 15. I might be wrong on those numbers, and it was denied by the association. Didn't get
By
far.
the DA's Association or the House Committee that was
The
considering
DA's
the bill?
Association, sir.
Okay.
I want to say Dahlia presented it in the summertime, and it didn't get, I think it was straight down party lines. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It was Democrat and Republican. Most of us are in the bigger jurisdictions and have, heavier caseloads, but I thought it was a fair proposal. And I understand, you've got to have caps, but I would just say take that in consideration of what type of caseloads we're dealing with, and stuff like that. But I actually loved, truth of the matter, I would prefer if y'all took the study that we gave that graduated first year, second year, third year. I think it accomplishes everything that you need to accomplish, and just do graduated.
That's for assistant DAs.
Assistant, but we were also in it, sir. We were also in it. When y'all passed for the ADAs, there was a portion of the bill, I can't remember what we were supposed to get, but it would have ensured that our ADAs didn't make more than us. But it was a 3-year step for appropriations, and if I remember correctly, didn't year three get us to somewhere around 180, 190?
I did obtain that information. I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
go right ahead, sure.
It was a 3-step. Yes, sir.
So I'm tracking with you, and
Yeah.
this makes a lot of sense. And so just to help me understand, I like the idea that you would make sure that a district attorney wouldn't make more than the Superior Court judge, or right at it. I think the only way we could implement something like that would be, to condition the raise and the percentage, supplement on whether or not the circuit you're in, obviously, the judges have opted in or out. Because, I was very involved in the Superior Court judges race last year. And to my knowledge, I think there's maybe 30 judges that haven't opted in, but they're all in Metro Atlanta.
Right.
Because of the locality pays. And I don't even know if this is a question other than just a thought, where for that model to work, we would have to tie it to whether or not the judges in your circuit have opted in, unless you can think of another way. But would that be, would that be something that you would support if that were in the bill? So that, as new judges get hired, they don't have the option of whether to
Of the
opt out.
locality
They're
pay.
automatically in. So if we were able to tie it to that,
Would it
would you
be-
be good with that?
Would it be anything stopping, because I know y'all worked on this for a number of years, but also tiering the locality pay of the judges to ensure that they never make more than the Court of Appeals or Supreme Court? Just say, if they opt in, saying, the same 25, 20, 15. You know, based upon the size of their judicial circuit, that the most that the judicial circuit can pay is 25%.
Yeah, the judge's locality pay is capped at a percentage of the base. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
there
neither
is
do
a,
I.
there's a cap, and it is a cap. It's not a requirement. So,
Right.
you know, whether it's 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, the locality doesn't have to do it. They can just pay up to that.
I think it's like 20-something thousand dollars and stuff
I
like
think
that.
it's a percentage. Though.
Yeah, it's a percentage or the 20-something thousand. And the percentage would have made it, like in my judicial circuit, the percentage would have been more than the actual cap. And so the county picked the cap, the 20, instead of giving them the percentage. Because am I wrong in 20%? Is 10?
I'm thinking it's 10%.
Go down? Okay, that's why I'm sorry. It's something crazy.
Oh, that's
but-
right, it might step down.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. But, I mean,
Well,
Just do-
I just kind of wanted to bounce that off of you because
Yeah.
we're obviously
I
dealing
had-
with this. There's that bill in the House, but I think it's an issue that I'm pretty passionate about. I think district attorneys, it needs to be addressed, and
Yeah.
we want to make sure we get it right.
I
Yeah.
had the same idea in trying to say maybe if the majority of the Superior Court judges had opted out of the state pay so that they could have a supplement, then perhaps we would have a different rule for the DAs there as well. But I don't know. It's very hard to make anything uniform statewide when we are such a diverse state. And
Right.
there's so many haves and have-nots and rural and metro, and some are densely populated, some are not. Some are wealthy, you know.
Some are not,
and
we're
some are
definitely
not.
not
You know, so it's difficult. But
Yeah.
we're working with you. You got to stick around for just a little bit
Yes, sir.
afterwards, but I'm going to go ahead and, you through? You got
I'm good.
anything
Thank
else?
you,
We're
Mr.
good if you need to. All right, well, we'll adjourn this meeting. We'll be back same room, 10 a.m. Herb Cranford, you're going to stay for detention also unless you got a kid with a basketball game or something, or I'm going to get you in divorce court. All right, if you'll come up here, we'll meet a little bit.
I'd like to join DA Mosley, if that's okay.
Okay, all I'm asking is her phone number, so just bring me yours as well, and I'll give you all the card and give you Pages.